Now that I'm starting to focus more on this and project forward to that time when I no longer need to take clients or make videos, I'm starting to really worry about losing the identity I've created through my job. And I was wondering from you, now that you're 10 or 11 months into this, what was the low moment of your retirement so far? Low point. Be honest.
Ooh.
Be honest.
I think the most challenging time for me probably came in the first few months. And, we were in our new house. We were settled. Those early chores were all done. So there was, kind of white space for me to fill. And at first, I was really enjoying it. I was cooking. I started the app development, kind of all that stuff. And I was getting a lot out of it. And then at some point, I realized I was just trying to jam stuff into that space. I was looking at taking on bigger consulting projects and felt like I had to find the next thing I was going to do. And honestly, I think you're one of the people who caught onto it first. Maybe you have just the right amount of distance from me and also know me well enough to call it out. But, that whole idea that just trading time for, money essentially, right? Just falling back into default mode of I need to figure out how to earn again, when the very point of getting here was to not have that pressure at all, was a really big revelation. So there's a positive, right? I came out of that mode and I started turning down bigger consulting opportunities that came my way because I recognized that what I had worked hard to get to was the freedom to random walk through different ideas and passions and possibilities and fail or drop most of them and maybe even all of them, but with the thought that, one of these things might turn out to be something really cool that I enjoy doing. But if I fill my time with other crap like I was doing, which was honestly starting to stress me out, which is stupid, but real, that would never happen. So, I don't think it lasted for a really long time. Maybe I struggled with it for a few weeks once I came to that realization, but you and Lori both helped me kind of snap out of it.
That's exactly what I was expecting you to say, because that's exactly what I saw from the outside. And what I actually think it was you coming to grips with losing your identity, which was tied to working and earning. Like that's what you had done for 22 years or 23 years. And your identity was completely wrapped up like it is for nearly everybody that I know. And when that goes away, you realize what a big part of your life it took up. And it was actually really interesting to see you work through it. And that's not to say that you're done working through it. And it's
probably not.
Things aren't changing still, but man, it's so fun to watch as an outsider and as I kind of experience your retirement vicariously, project what my own future might feel like when I get to that position. But it's really something that I think everyone can relate to. Your job is who you are for much of your life. And this is about questioning that and reinventing that and trying to figure out, is there more to life than my job? And I think what it seems like you found is there's space for all these other things and you don't know where it can lead. And I think that's kind of cool.
I would say that I was surprised because I've always felt like, look, I landed in a line of work that I found very interesting and challenging and was personally rewarding, especially in recent years, right? Working on diagnostics for human disease, it was a very fulfilling trade to be in. And so I felt like I was going to step away from that having felt accomplished, lots of positive things, but that I was ready to set that, behind me, that I was moving into something different. And sure, I would miss it. I would miss the people and the sense of accomplishment, but I never would have thought that the absence of that would drive those kinds of feelings. And that's naive, obviously. And so maybe it saves somebody 10% of that by thinking about it in advance. But I don't know. From talking to others who have towed this road, I think that's just a normal progression. Yes, we're talking about doing it earlier in life than traditional retirement age, and maybe that makes it weirder. because you're less ready for it or less frustrated with the grind after, a lot longer than we spend in it, right? Sometimes, maybe even double the amount of time we spent in it, but it's real.
But maybe it wasn't, loss of identity. Maybe it was loss of sense of purpose. Maybe it was that. And I don't know if you've found purpose yet, or I actually don't know if that's important to you, but it would be important to me.
When I was volunteering at the vaccine clinic, something I was doing here once a week, I had these like crappy little admin jobs because I'm not a medical professional, right?
Yeah.
Used to be an EMT, but
Traffic
now I'm not. So I
directing
can't do anything medical. I was like legitimately directing traffic. Like, go here. This is where the observation tent is. This is how you fill out that form. Basic stuff that you could teach someone in 5 minutes.
Yep.
And so nobody made any assumptions about like my level of education and my training, right? I absolutely dress down. That's my MO, because I'm a very casual person. So definitely nobody's going to assume anything about me by the way I dress, except that I'm a dirtbag.
Homeless.
But yeah, I'm homeless. But anyhow, like I would find people like over explaining things to me at the vaccine clinic, like making sure I got it. I'm like, got it. But like every so often, like something would come up and I would respond to it like my normal way. And I'm pretty well educated about COVID in particular. And I would respond like, just like it was a work conversation. They'd be like, oh, well, what kind of work do you do?
Oh, that's nice, Jason.
Yeah.
Please step back in line.
Like, it's just, I don't know. It's like, it's a weird thing after so many years of, having a certain level of accomplishment and expectations around that in the workplace based on your level and based on your education, that like you're going to respond in a certain way and I can ask you questions in a certain way because we all have these same givens. And now that I don't work in biotech anymore and I'm not surrounded by people who have those expectations, it's like, well, who's this fool?
Exactly. Is this the reason
totally
why you like
identity change?
Is this why you boss me around so much in this project?
Is that how this is working? It's not how I felt about it at all.